When you're representing a mean value with a bar graph, typically you'll also show the standard deviation or some error bars around that bar graph, as well as oftentimes people now show the points. In addition, showing the results of statistical significance tests is also really common. And in this video, we're going to pull them all together in one graph in DataGraph. I have some simulated drug trial data where I have a control, a low dose, a medium dose, and a high dose. I actually ran this through a script in R that computed for me some summary stats that were outputted to a CSV file that I imported into here, as well as the results of a statistical test that I want to show on my graph as well. Let's start by doing the bar graphs, and I can do this by using a bar command in DataGraph. I like to make these a little narrower. One of the things that I like with the bar command is that we also have an option for a color scheme. If I just have a bunch of bars like this, that can be a nice option and often is something that people do with this. There we go. But the error bars, I do that with this option at the bottom of the command. You don't always need error bars, but when you do, you can select what type of bar and then you select the column you want to use to base that on. Next, now we want to add the points on that. This is going to be another layer, a different command. If you watch the video on the violin plots, we can do this. Actually, we'll need the raw data, but we can do this with the box command that has a points option. We can take this data and we will add the box command that by default will do the box and whisker, but you can see something's wrong right away. They're not currently in the same order. We want it ordered by the column. I can do that by specifying how I want it ordered right there. Now I see that these line up and I can just change the type to points. There's my points. The other thing that's nice about this is I can also change the point color to also be on the same based on the group, and we'll add that color there. I kind of like this actually with the marker being this style and maybe even a little bit bigger. Okay, now I've got my two layers. Let's do this final one. And for this, I'm going to show you my significance test results, as well as 3 columns that I added that define where I want these lines drawn. Because typically what people will do is draw essentially a straight line between the beginning and end of each of the bar graphs, something like this, with a label on top. So to do that, I'm going to use the command called the connect command. This command can do all sorts of interesting things, but essentially it just allows me to specify the beginning and ending of where I want the lines drawn. And here I want my beginning to be at 1 for all of these, and the end will be at 2, 3, 4. Now to actually see these lines, let's show where we're going to put them on the y-axis. This still has to, one more thing, and where it ends on the y-axis. There we go. Now I have these lines drawn, and I'm also going to use the significance level as my labels. To really get this in the right spot and finalize this, I would move the label position to the middle, and I would move this up. So with this slider to really position this. I also think these might look good if I bump up the font size a little bit for these labels. And that's it. This is showing you how I'm combining these 3 different layers in DataGraph, where I have the bars with the error bar, the points on top of that, and then a connect command to indicate the significance levels.